Holly. Thanks for joining me on Smile by Holly. It's great to have you here. You know, today I thought it would be fun to make a recipe album, and this is the perfect size. It's a 4x6 recipe album, which, you know, these pockets that we're going to be making, there's quite a bit of room in there. So you could put, I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe 5, maybe 6 recipe cards down in each of these little file folders. So anyway, let me just first show you what I made, and then we're going to go step by step, and I will show you how you can make your own cute recipe book. So I'm using some project life cards, and these made the project just that much simpler. But look how cute. It says love beyond measure. I mean, there's so many fun things. Let the good times roll. And then on all of these, there's a recipe card on back. So I was able to use them to decorate my recipe holder. Plus also I had all the little recipe cards. So this was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Once again, these are project life cards from Becky Higgins, and I think they made this project just really, really shine. So to start out, let's show you this. I did take a couple extra cards for each one, and I popped them up. Can you see that? I put everything on pop-up tapes just to give it a little bit of dimension. I thought that looked so cute. The eggs are popped up and the flour and the sugar. Of course, I've added my bow, and look at that really pretty shiny yellow heart. Isn't that just so cute? I've also used these really cool discs from Happy Planner. Now you can just use a paper punch if you want. You could put rings through it. You could put ribbon through it. There's so many different ways. So use what you have. But I was pretty impressed that when I found this, it's called We Are Memories Keeper. And it's, I don't know what that little punch is called, but it's that punch. Let me bring a scrap in. It's that punch that looks like that. And so then you put the little disc rings through it. And it just kind of holds onto the side, and then this rotates around the disc. Anyway, so I've been having a lot of fun with this, but you don't need this. You can also just use a simple hole punch. If that's what you've got, use that. It's all about using what we have, right? So anyway, look how cute. So that was my front page. And once again, in here, there is a lot of space. Let me grab some extra cards. Let's see how many we can put in here just to kind of give you an idea. Let's see. 1, 2, here's 4. I know I can easily get 4 in there. So yeah, that's 4. So I bet you could probably get 6 or 7 in there and still have room. So this is a big like envelope, not an envelope, this is a good sized pocket. So that was my front, and I've made these in all the pastel colors because that's kind of how the Project Life cards were. We've got this one that says Let's Eat. Once again, the cards are already in here. And I popped up the Let's Eat. This one is Squeeze the Day. Isn't that cute? I love that saying with the recipe cards. And then this one says Delicious, and that's popped up. And then my last one, look at those cute little pots and pans. Bon Appetit with the cards. So anyway, there's lots of different ways you could embellish this and make it cute. Use your imagination. Let's just start right out though, and I'll show you how to make the base pages for these, okay? Set that aside. Okay, so bring in your papers. Now it depends. You can make as many of these little file folders as you want. Right now I have, let's see, 5 in here. It could definitely hold more. And then you could also go through and you could like write desserts or appetizers or main dishes on all of these. So I haven't done that yet, but I think I will label my tabs to just give it a little extra cuteness. But for the beginning, let's start out. You'll need a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 7 1/4. And we're just going to go nice and slow, and I'm going to show you how we make this. So once again, your base paper is 8.5 by 7 1/4, and bring your scoreboard in. So let's start out on the 7 1/4 side. Okay, it's on the 7 1/4 side, and we want to score it at 1/2 inch and at 6 3/4. Okay, go ahead and flip it to the 8 1/2 inch side, and we're going to score it again at 1/2 inch, and this time at 4 1/2. Okay, now flip it back. You'll see that there is this score line right here. Flip it back here, and we are just going to make a little tiny notch just down to this score line at 3 1/2. Okay, just a teeny mini score line. And we're ready to start cutting. Now, what I found was really helpful is I went through and I marked my papers so that I would know which ones to cut and which ones not, because depending on what side you have the little tab on is what the other side you'll be cutting out. So if you get all your papers ready and then you go, okay, I want this one cut out on this one cut out on this one. Does that make sense? So you don't get mixed up and then you have all of the same tab. So what you'll want to do is we want to cut out, there's little squares on all these right up here in the corner. Little square, little square, little square, little square. Okay, so there's little squares up there. Those all come out. Then depending which side we want the tab on, I'm going to cut this side out right here and leave this on for the tab. And then on this side, we're going to cut out this and leave this for the tab. So I've gone ahead and pre-marked it just so I keep my mind straight. Sometimes I get going on these projects and I'm like, oh, whoops, I have too many like right-handed tabs or too many left-handed tabs. So that's kind of going to help me. And then this one rectangle box right here on the right-hand side, you are going to cut that out. Okay, so and that's going to be regardless of which one you have your tab on. So let's go ahead and just cut these out and I'll show you. So this is the long one. Now we can go ahead and cut that square out at the same time. Just make one long cut. So how are you guys doing? I hope you're doing good. I'm having a fun day. I was able to call into work today. Well, accidentally called into work sick just because I was wanting to work on some projects, but don't tell anyone, okay? Okay, so we've cut that one out. Now we're going to cut out this little square and then this rectangle because we're going to be using this one as our tab. So let's cut that out. And you just cut right up to that 3 1/2 inch score line and then cut down. Okay, now a couple things we want to do. Right here in the middle on that 4 1/2 inch score line, let's see if you can see that. We are going to cut slits. I'm just going to cut a slit right there. And then I'm going to diagonal cut it just to give it a little bit of folding power. When I say folding power, it just folds easier when you take a little bit of that out. I just needed to cut it right there. So now this is what it looks like. This little side right here is going to be where our tab is. Okay, this is going to be the tab part over here. And so let's fold it up and I'll show you. So this is going to fold over. Let me bring in this. My desk is getting a little crowded, so let me move all that over. Okay, so this is where we are going to hook it all together. I'm just folding this side over and this side over. And then as you can see, this is going to fold up. Okay, so before I do that, I'm just going to angle both of these. I think it looks more like a tab if we angle that and then angle this. Okay, do you see how that kind of makes a cute little tab? Now let's bring in our glue, and you're just going to put glue on these two outer pages. This is what's going to hold your folder together. It makes me want to bake when I'm making this. I don't do a lot of cooking. How about you guys? This is funny. We do a lot of like frozen foods. And so whenever I do like bake or cook, it's a real treat. Believe me, it's a real treat. Okay, I'm just kind of going over this to make sure those edges are down. And there you go. And there is my good size pocket. Okay, so let's make the other one with the tab that's over on this side. Okay, once again, bring in my paper, and I've already scored it. Okay, so if you need to, go back and watch the scoring. But this time we are going to cut out and leave this tab up here. See how this tab was on this side? We're going to leave this tab on this side. Okay, so regardless of which side your tab is, you are going to cut out this long rectangle, and I'm going to go all the way up and cut through the boxes because you cut out those two little boxes up here. Okay, and I'm trying to just go nice and slow so you don't get confused, but feel free to question me if you do have any questions. So I just cut that part off. Now we're going to go through and we're going to cut this part off. I've already marked it so I can keep in my mind, keep everything straight in my mind. Okay, so this is going to make this tab. Now let's go ahead and cut out that little square because we don't need that. Okay, cut out the square and cut out the square. Okay, now let's go ahead and make a little tiny slit right here and let's notch it out. Okay, I just made a little notch to help it fold. So let's go over here and notch this out just to help that side fold. You see how now we have the tab on this side. Now we still have this side tab. This is what's going to hold all of our pages together. So that's always going to be here on the left side. Let's go ahead and fold our bottom two tabs up. Get some glue on here. I saw this idea on Pinterest, and as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what embellishments I was going to use because I've been saving these project life cards for some type of recipe album. And so I was so excited. It's like, I can use those recipe cards. Anyway, mission accomplished. Okay, so do you see how this one now is on this side? So I'm going to go ahead and just corner chomp that. Just take a little tiny triangle out here and a little tiny triangle out here. Okay, so now we have two. Let's go ahead and, why don't we go ahead and make one more? So I want to have this be the tab. So I'm going to take that one out, that one out, that one out, and that one out. So are you kind of following me? Because we want this tab, the little square and the long rectangle will come out. This little square and this little rectangle will come out. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll make a recipe book with 3 little pockets. That should be enough just to kind of give you the gist on how this all goes together. Okay, so I'm going to take this and this. I'm kind of funny though. I like this because it is a recipe book and my whole family always tells me to follow the recipe because a lot of things I make don't turn out, but that's because I kind of wing it. I don't think you're supposed to wing it when you're baking and cooking. Okay, I just cut that slit right there. Okay, we're just going to corner chomp this, just a little tiny triangle to help it fold better, and then come over here and we're going to just tiny cut that part out, okay, because that's going to help it fold. Let's go ahead and put some glue on our edges. I hope that makes sense how you do the 2 different sides. Okay, I'm going to fold, whoops, I'm going to fold this up and over, and I'm just going to crease this with my spatula. Okay, so now we have one this side. Oops, let's go ahead and take off that little corner. It might be easier to take that off before you glue this together. Little corner, little corner. Let's glue that down. Okay, so we've got this one we've got this one, and then we've got a third one. Do you see how that just kind of lines up? So they alternate, and I think that makes it look so cute. So let's just go ahead. I'll put on a few of these fun cards. It's so hard to know, but look how cute these are. So baked with love, season everything with love, and I like this as a front cover. Baker's gonna bake. Or should we have that? I can never decide. We're just gonna put this on the front cover. Okay. Now, I just made this a solid white. Once again, you could use pattern paper. You could use, you know, different colored cardstock. There's so many different ways that you could do this. But this one, just for the purposes of putting it together, I'm just making it in white. And then I was talking too much and I didn't get this on exactly right. Oh dear. Okay. I'm just kind of centering this on here. Baker's gonna bake. Okay, let's put a couple other things on here. Now, I won't take the time to go through and pop up the embellishments just because, you know, you will probably have different embellishments. But that's what I had done, which I think really looked cute, is popping everything up throughout the whole little mini album. Okay, let's see, which one should we use? We'll use this one. Okay, so this is my third one. Okay, and you see how we have those tabs here on the end? That's what we're going to hook our album together. Now, you could certainly go 2 paper punches. Here's my little thing I was working out. You could do 2 little hole punches and then tie them together with a ribbon or some string. But I am going to use my handy dandy chomper, and I'm just lining this up to the end here and chomping. So I'm lining this up to the end. Boy, I'm really liking this tool. I think it's fun. Okay, and that's what that's looking like. But it's not necessary. You do not need to have this tool. But I hadn't used it, and I've had it for, God, well over a year. So I'm like, I need to pull that out. If anybody knows what that is called, this little hole punch type of thing, let me know. I don't know if it's like a planner punch. Maybe it's called a planner punch. I'm not really sure, but if there's an official name, I would certainly like to know instead of just calling it this thingy. Okay, so I just lined everything up. Now, if you're doing that with a hole punch, you may want to take a pencil and do the first 2 and then trace it so that your little pages line up. Okay, right here, I was using this little ruler guide, so all of mine did line up. So let's bring in these little discs. We'll use purple and green. And then these just go down in there. I think it's so clever how that little lip just sits there and then it rolls around on this little ring. Okay, put that there, that there, and then let's just do a quick bow. I can't do my projects without bows, so that is done. Now, I'll definitely want to go back and do some embellishments on this, but we've got our 3 pages, that page, that page, and that page. And just remember, go through and put some fun embellishments on the outside of your pages. Find some cute recipe cards that you could fill in. Don't you think this would be a really cute gift to give somebody? You know, especially maybe with some of your homemade recipes. I think that would be just really cute. So not only do you get the cute little recipe book, but you get some of your favorite recipes that you're giving to a friend. So let's see. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how big that is on the inside of this album. I think it turned out really good. Okay, so there are our 2 cute little recipe albums. Don't you think that's a fun size? The 4x6, I think, works so well with recipe cards. But this was the one that's a little bit more embellished, and this is the one that, oops, this is the one that we just made. And I think, I hope that I was able to convey how to cut these, especially when it's slightly different depending on where you have your tab. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. This was a fun one to make. I hope that you guys had fun. Don't forget, please message me if you have any questions. Happy to help. I hope you guys have a wonderful crafting day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye, everybody.